Join Kids Hut family. Hey, there you are. Hey Tofu, wait up. What's wrong with you? I have been waiting for you for so long, and here you are, just walking past me without even saying hi?
I'm sorry, Tia. I didn't mean to be rude to you. Sometimes I just can't understand my friends.
Okay, calm down and tell me what happened.
You know my friend Megan?
Yes, the shy one with the curly hair, right? The one who's always helping you out with class notes and assignments.
Yes.
Isn't she wonderful? I think you should also help her out sometimes.
Well, that's just what I did, Tia, and she is so upset with me now. She forgot her English assignment at home. So I did some of it for her and asked her to complete it and submit it. That's it. She got so offended. She hasn't said a word to me since then. And she won't answer me if I say something to her.
Oh, that's strange. But I don't think she is the only one who is uncomfortable with people try to help.
What do you mean?
Let me tell you the story of the shoemaker and the elves. Once upon a time, there lived an old shoemaker. He was an honest man, but with very limited money. He made really nice shoes, but could not earn enough for himself and his wife. One night, he was in his workshop when his wife came to him. What are you doing, dear?
I have this last piece of leather left. I am just cutting it out. We'll make a pair of shoes out of it tomorrow.
Is it the last piece? What will we do? There are no grains in the cupboard, no wood for the fire, and now no more leather.
Don't worry, my darling. Something will work out.
The old couple finished their housework, and before they went to sleep, the shoemaker put the leather on his workbench. The next morning, he got up early to make a pair of shoes out of the leather he had kept. To his surprise, instead of the leather, there lay a beautiful pair of shoes. He picked them up and observed them closely. They were made out of the same leather that he had put out the night before. He called his wife.
Dear, come, see this.
What a lovely pair of shoes! They are just perfect.
Yes, look at the stitches. They are so tiny and spaced so perfectly. But I didn't make them.
You didn't? Then who did?
I don't know. Why would someone help us like this?
I can't even think of anyone who can make such good shoes. You make the best shoes I have ever seen, and these are better than yours too.
I agree. Anyway, let us not get carried away. Let us put them in the display window and hope that we can get some money for them.
Just a few minutes after the shoemaker had put the shoes on the display, a wealthy merchant stopped outside his door. He paid a good sum for the shoes and bought them. The shoemaker was very happy. He went and bought food for the house. With the remaining money, he bought 2 pieces of leather. When it was night, his wife called out to him, "What are you doing? It's time for us to sleep."
Yes, dear. I am just cutting out these leather pieces so I can stitch them into shoes tomorrow.
The next morning, when the shoemaker and his wife came down to the workshop, they were surprised to see 2 new pairs of shoes on the table where he had kept the leather pieces.
Would you look at that? These shoes are even more beautiful than the first pair. Let me put them up for sale and thank whoever is helping us out.
Soon after, the shoemaker had put up the 2 pairs of shoes for sale. Other wealthy men of the town came and bought them. They paid a hefty price for them. The shoemaker bought more food supplies and leather from the money he got. Again that night, he cut the leather and kept it to stitch it in the morning. The next morning, he saw that the leather had been made into shoes again. And as soon as he put them up for sale, they were bought in exchange of good money. This went on for many days. The shoemaker started doing well. His business prospered and his shop would always be full with customers. One night, as they were closing the shop, the shoemaker had an idea.
I cannot stop thinking about those who help us. Why don't we hide behind the cupboard tonight and see who it is?
Yes, that's a brilliant idea. Let's hide and check out. After some time, they saw 2 elves enter the workshop through the crack in the window. They headed to the workbench and started making shoes from the leather kept there. Although they were making these lovely shoes for the shoemaker, they had no shoes on. They wore torn shirts and very thin tights. They did their work carefully and left through the window again.
Oh dear goodness, such kind elves they are. We must repay them.
Yes. When you go to the market tomorrow, get me some nice cloth. I will make clothes for our little helpers. The next day, the shoemaker got many fancy cloths and good leather, while his wife made beautiful clothes for the elves. He made soft shoes for them. When night fell, they placed the gifts for the elves on the table. They also laid out delicious food and treats for them. Then they hid behind the cupboard again and waited for the elves to return. When the elves came, they were overjoyed to see the gifts and the delicious food. They wore their new clothes ate stomachful and went on to make shoes for the shoemaker. Once they were done, they slipped out of the window.
I am so happy to see our little helpers happy.
Yes, and they looked so wonderful in their new clothes, didn't they?
Tonight, let's keep some more dinner ready for them. What do you think?
Yes, dear. That night, the shoemaker and his wife again kept dinner for the elves. But tonight, they did not hide behind the cupboard. Instead, they went to sleep. The next morning, when they came to the workshop, the shoemaker and his wife were disappointed to see that the dinner plates remained untouched. Even the leather that the shoemaker had cut out and put on the table remained as it is.
I wonder what happened to them.
Maybe they will come tonight?
Yes, let's hope so.
The shoemaker and his wife again kept the food for the elves, but were disappointed in the morning as the elves did not show up in the night. They waited for the elves many nights, but they never returned. Do you think they overheard us?
Perhaps they did. Elves are very shy creatures. They usually like to be left alone.
What will happen to the shop now?
Oh, it will be fine. I will miss my little helpers, but I will manage.
The shoemaker went back to making the shoes himself. His shop continued to prosper, but he and his wife always remembered the elves and remained thankful to them for their help. So you see, Tofu, some people are willing to help but are too shy to take help from others.
Yes, Tia, I understand now.
Also, it doesn't mean that you have to be angry with them. You can be thankful to them in your heart.
Thank you, Tia. If you wouldn't have shared this with me, I think I would have lost a very good friend. Now, when Megan tells me she doesn't want my help, I will respect that more.
Good to know that. Now let's go home. I am very hungry.
Tia, today I'm very happy. I met one of my friends who was acting all greedy and selfish in class. So I told him the story of the Pied Piper of Hamelin, and he soon understood the lesson.
Really, Tofu? I haven't heard this one. I would love to hear it from you. The Pied Piper of Hamelin. Once upon a time, there was a town named Hamelin. The town was beautiful, bustling with energy and wealth. But no sooner the happiness of the town was ruined by a plague. Plague of rats. There were rats everywhere. So much so that the people of the town didn't even have a place to keep a step without tripping over the rats. There were rats of every size, shape, every age and color. Nothing worked as a remedy. Not even the cats were able to control the plague of rats. Giving up, the authorities decided to announce a reward of 10 bags of gold to anyone who could help to get rid of the rats. One day, a strange-looking man came to the town. He was dressed in their traditional dress, but all red in color, with a long, peculiar nose and big, wide eyes. He adorned his head with a feather in his hat. He went to the authorities and said, I have a solution for your problem. I assure you that not a single rat would live in this beautiful town. But I want 10 gold bags that you have promised as prize. The authorities were not very sure of his commitment, but still allowed him to give it a try, as they had no other option. Soon, the strange-looking man took out a Pied Piper from his pocket and started playing a very strange tune. Within no time, all the rats started coming out and following him. From every nook and corner of the town, so many rats came out that the whole street was filled with them. Very strangely, the rats started following the Pied Piper, who was playing the strangest tune ever heard. The Pied Piper took them to the town's river and entered into it. In no time, all the rats, mesmerized by his tune, fell into the river and drowned. There were rejoices in the town, celebrations all over. Soon, the Pied Piper went to the authorities to claim his prize money. But since their work was done and they thought that this plague would never return, They shun him off and asked him to leave without giving him a single penny. What selfish people are these? I did them a favor, freed them from such a bad epidemic, and all they could care was to be greedy and ungrateful? Now look how I will teach these selfish people a lesson. The Pied Piper took out his pipe once again and started playing another strange tune. A tune that no one had ever heard before. In no time, all the children of the town, mesmerized by the music, started following the Pied Piper. The children were so lost in his tune that they didn't realize that they have come out to the outskirts of the town. The Pied Piper took them to a cave and let them in. He kept playing the tune till all the children were inside the cave. He then closed the cave with a huge stone. Only 2 kids were left in the entire town. A boy who was hard of hearing and a girl who had hurt her legs so badly that she couldn't keep up the pace with the rest of the kids. These 2 kids went back and told their parents about the Pied Piper and how he lured all the children into the cave. Soon, the authorities went begging to the Pied Piper and requested him to let their children out. This time, they promised to reward him with 20 gold bags. I don't trust you any longer. I want my prize money beforehand. Soon, he was handed over his prize money. And he left, never to be seen again. The children were freed from the cave, and the parents hugged them and cried. Watching this, the authorities said,
We surely have learnt a lesson. This man came out of nowhere and saved us from an epidemic. All that we did in return was to be selfish and ungrateful. He surely taught us a lesson of not to be greedy and selfish.
That night, the town rejoiced and celebrated like a festival. It's still said that in the town of Hamelin, if you ever go and listen carefully, you might hear the beautiful sound of the Pied Piper. Tofu, I'm so proud of you. You must be a little naughty, but you surely are a good boy. Ha 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 ha.
Yay! I've won again, Tia!
Wow, Tofu! You've really become good at this game.
Do you want to play one more round with me? The winner gets the loser's share of Mom's special pie.
Mom? Tofu, look at the time. We've not completed any of our chores.
Oh, don't worry about it, Tia. It's a Sunday. We'll just tell Mom that we forgot.
But we remember now. We should do it now.
Do we have to? Mom won't know.
Tofu, are you suggesting that we should lie to Mom? And who will lie to her? That's the worst idea you've ever had, Tofu. And you're talking like the little mouse.
The little who?
Belling the cat. That's a story that I want to tell you in this context. Once upon a time, the many mice that lived in his store troubled a grocer.
These mice are spoiling everything. Today they pierced holes in the grain bags.
Oh dear, what should we do?
I don't know. If the villagers find out, they will stop coming to the store and buying things from me.
Oh no, what will we do then? Our business will be disrupted entirely.
I agree.
Oh, I have an idea. Why don't you get a cat for the store? A good, strong cat will eat the mice away quickly, and new mice will be afraid to enter the store out of a fear.
That's a brilliant idea. I will get one first thing tomorrow.
The next morning, the grocer went and got a big, strong cat for his store. Just as his wife had said, she pounced at the first sight of mice. The mice were taken by surprise.
Our brothers have been attacked and eaten up by this cat that the grocer has brought. We all should be careful from now on.
As the days passed, the movement of the mice became restricted. They always lived in fear of the cat and were unable to get food and supplies for their families from the store. If any of them ventured out, the cat ate them. This distressed the mice very much. They made many plans to avoid and escape the cat, but failed miserably.
We are losing out our brothers and sisters to this cat. Something must be done.
I have a simple plan, but I'm sure it will be successful. We just have to put a bell around the cat's neck. Every time the cat will move, we will hear the bell ring first. This will give us enough time to escape her.
That's a very good idea.
Good thinking, brother. We should arrange a bell immediately.
Yes, I agree. This is a very good plan. But I have just one question. Who will bell the cat?
Suddenly, there fell a hush over the excited mice because none of them had the answer to the question. None had the courage to risk his own life to bell the cat. And so it remained that the cat was never belled. So you see, Tofu? It is one thing to just give out ideas and another to actually go ahead and do as you've said.
Yes, Tia. I am ashamed of what I suggested. I said it without considering whether it was right or wrong, and possible or impossible. Come, let's go and finish off the chores.
I am glad you understood that, Tofu. Now let's start with putting away.
Will you help me to do my homework, Tia?
Tofu, it's dinner time and you haven't completed your homework yet? I hope you know that your teacher will be really angry.
I will do it after this cartoon, Tia. But please help me so that I can finish it fast.
You have been watching TV all day. You should get up and do your homework first.
My hand has been hurting since morning. I'm giving it some rest. Also, dear sister, will you please get my bag and pencil box from the room?
Excuses and more excuses. He should know his priorities right.
Where is my book? I can't find it here. Did I forget it in school? What will I tell my teacher in school?
You should be more responsible, Tofu. You are a big boy now. Anyway, complete the rest of your homework at least now and be more careful next time onwards. So, Tofu, let me tell you a story. In a land far away lived a hard-working and kind trader. Mostly he traded in salt. He also had a horse that was very lazy and always avoided work. The trader used him to carry sacks of salt from one town to the other. Here, let me load these sacks up and let's go to the town across the river to sell this salt. I am so tired today. Why do I have to work every day? I wish I could sleep throughout the day. But no, I have to carry these loads of salt and move. Come on, horse, start walking. Cross that bridge. Until then, I'll pack some food for myself.
The horse was crossing the river. Suddenly, he slipped and fell into the water. As he was carrying sacks of salt on his back, the salt got wet and dissolved in the water. So when the horse got up, the sacks on his back were lighter. The horse thought to himself, "Wow, this seems to be a good idea. Every time I dip in the river, the salt would dissolve and my burden could be less. I must try doing this more often. I hope Master is not watching." When the master reached the town to sell the salt, it weighed just half of what he loaded. Thinking it might be his miscalculation, he sold whatever salt was left and returned home with his horse. The next morning, he again loaded his horse with the sacks of salt and started to pack his food. The horse yet again started walking before him and made it to the bridge.
I must try the dipping trick again before Master reaches here.
The trader got really confused as the sacks started weighing lesser every time. The horse purposely started slipping into the water every day so that the sacks became lighter. One day, the trader followed the horse. And hid in the bushes. To his surprise, he noticed
the horse's new trick. Oh, that's so cunning. I must teach this lazy horse a lesson soon. So the following day, instead of salt, the trader filled the sacks with cotton and tied him to the horse's back. Out of his new habit, the horse purposely fell into the river. Oh no, no! What is happening today? What is going wrong? How are these sacks getting heavier? Oh, my back hurts! What? This time, as the sacks were filled with cotton, it soaked water and became heavier. The horse dipped again and again in water, thinking to drain the salt off somehow, but all went in vain. He somehow managed to get up and cross the bridge. He sat on the ground and panted as the sacks had gotten really, really heavy. The trader laughed at him and said, "Horse, I am your master. This is your work. I work very hard and worship my work. I don't make excuses or find tricks to fool others and avoid work. I must teach you to never repeat this and avoid your work." The horse learned his lesson and never tried to avoid his work again. What a wise trader! Right, Tofu? He taught the lazy horse a good lesson. Come, let me give you the big bitter medicine for your hand. But hey, I can see it's totally fine now. Maybe you have forgotten about the pain.
Tia, I never had any pain. I just wanted to sit and watch cartoons. I was the lazy horse today. I am sorry, Tia. I'm really worried about my teacher scolding me tomorrow.
Here, take your books, Tofu. I also was the trader today. I just wanted you to learn a lesson. Now you should promise me that you will always do your work, and yes, I will help you with your homework.
Oh, thank you, Tia. Please, let's finish my homework quickly. I don't want to be lazy at all. I will always finish all my work before doing anything else. I promise you that. For your favorite rhymes, stories, and more, join Kids Hut family. Subscribe here.